I think the mistake both teams made is they came up with their approach without regard
to the game,
right, and how it felt when you get to that,
right.
And I think that's the mistake, and I think that's the lesson for every other team and for the two teams that were in last night's game. Don't make your final decision until you've played the first 60 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that's right. You got to take that into account, you know. And I don't know, maybe the part of the reason too is, you know, maybe Shanahan saw the Falcons team, which was Dan Quinn's team. Again, I'd like to remind everybody that for the 27th time this week, because people still talk about it last night like it was Shanahan coaching the Falcons. But, yeah, you know, he experienced that game and said, wait, Brady, end of regulation, my field was on the team the defense was on the field a long time. Wait, they got the ball to start overtime. The defense is on the field again. And he saw that effect. I don't know. Maybe that went into the mindset of going into the game that way anyways.
Yeah,
that preconceived
because he still
notion.
could have changed his plans.
Yeah,
he still could have changed his plans.
No
if
doubt.
anything, the way the game went reinforced his decision to take the ball.
It did.
Yeah,
it did. So I know it's a tough one. And again, that's where I get into my buddy Shanahan being cursed a little right now. And I feel for him. And like I shed a tear for him after the game. I was really hurt. You know, that's a tough way to lose the football game. And then not only to have all this pressure on you, to be faced even with that decision that nobody's ever been faced with in the history of football or the Super Bowl. And here you are in this big moment against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You got to make the decision, and you make a decision, and of course it doesn't work out your way. And now everybody dissects how your decision was wrong for a full offseason. And, you know, that's where I hurt for Shanahan.
Andy Reid was able to think straight last night, even though he got jostled in the first half by tight end Travis Kelce.
Protocol.
Good Lord. Look at this. That is something. He comes over and he bumps the big man and almost puts him down on the ground. He's got a couple of new knees in those legs. Kelce was mad because he wasn't on the field. Kelce was looking like Jason there. I mean, he had the eyebrows going and the beard. And
they were frustrated early.
Yeah.
Well, they were frustrated the whole first half.
They had a long time to settle it down in the second half, and I'd love to know what all went on in that locker room during that Usher show that seemed to take forever to set up. And I felt like the second half came around a lot later than it usually does, but they were out of sorts in the first half.
Oh,
they really were.
You could see it. I was, sitting on the side of the Chiefs bench. You could tell every time the offense came out, there was head shaking. There was, hey, we're going to be okay. I could see Mahomes over there trying to keep spirits up, right? But they had no answers early on. And, it wasn't getting a ton of pressure. He was doing okay there, but there was nobody open downfield. And then we expect, Mahomes will make magic and he'll find somebody. But the 49ers covered well. And Nick Bosa was around a lot. Hey, he's one guy on the 49ers defense that definitely popped a lot yesterday. Nick Bosa was around, run game, pass game, whatever. But here's what
Chase Young sighting last night too, by the way.
Yeah, he had a few plays, no doubt about it. The other thing too that this is what I love about the Chiefs, and this is again to me why they're different than any dynasty we've ever seen. Right? I think the Cowboys of the 90s are maybe the only thing that are similar, where it's just like, we're the biggest show in town. We love it. Stars, pressure, cash, money, whatever, bring it on. They love it. And that's unusual because usually we see dynasties like the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s do it by the book, and the Patriots do it by the book, and Bill Walsh is a mastermind and they do it by the book. The Chiefs.
Is that Phil doing John Facenda?
That was John Facenda, yeah. Right. That was I can't get Phil out of me all the way. I mean, Phil's in me, all right, part of me, so I can't get him out of there all the way. Yeah. But my point to it is their individuality is awesome, but it never goes overboard to trump the rest of the football team. And the fact that they're such psychos that he can hit Andy Reid like that, what I love, play the replay again, guys, if you can. Andy doesn't even care. He literally almost gets knocked over, and he's just like, oh, it's Psycho Kelce yelling at me? Yeah, don't worry, we'll be okay. And he pats him on the arm. It wasn't like anybody was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that to the head coach, right? And, again, I don't know if we can play it one more time, guys.
It's about taking the steam out of a situation that could have boiled over. Sometimes you don't fight the guy back.
Right.
And
he knows his guys.
I'm sure Andy Reid probably wasn't thrilled with it, but the reality is.
Look at him. He's like, I almost fell. And he's like, oh, it's you. You're a psycho. Okay, yeah, we'll get you the ball.
Andy Reid told Peter King after the game that that he loves that Kelce was that fired up about getting out there to play.
Yeah.
And also that he stumbled because he's not a very good athlete. That's what he said. Here's Reid after the game talking to reporters about Travis Kelce getting in Big Red's face.
They're passionate players, man, and I love that. And even if they chest bump me to the other side of the 50, I mean, I appreciate it. I just love that the guy wants to play and wants to be in there playing, and he knows I love that. So he makes me feel young. Yeah, he caught me off balance. I wasn't watching. He cheap shot, but that's all right. He did good. He was really coming over just put me in. I'll score. You know. So that's really what it was. Well, I love that. I mean, it's not the first time. So I appreciate him.
And look, Kelce woke up.
It's not the first time the player has physically disrespected me on the field.
Well, we saw it in the Ravens game.
I know.
Whatever Chris Jones was doing. And then last night, I don't know what Chris Jones and Andy Reid were doing on the field, but it's called celebrating a Super Bowl win.
It is. All rules go out the window.
That's right. Kelce had 1 catch for 1 yard in the first half. In the second half and overtime, he had 8 for 92. He had that catch near the goal line where I thought he was just going to bull his way in.
Right.
Bull his way in. And when they were facing that 4th down and 1, I thought, line it up like you're going to run it. Play action, flip it to Kelce, and let him just go. Remember that game against the Chargers where he just kind of like, how is this guy running through all these people, but he just keeps going and he just keeps going. I thought that would have been the play, although the play, the
play was great.
The play they called, that was beautiful. And it gave Mahomes multiple options. That's always the key.
Right.
You keep the ball in the quarterback's hands in moments like that, because then he can run, he can throw here, he can throw there, he can do this, he can do that. You don't commit like they did they had that third and short earlier,
where they learned their lesson.
They called the timeout early in the second half.
They still
wasted
ran it up the middle,
timeout.
right?
They came out and they ran it up the middle. And they went nowhere, and it was clearly going to be a run. It was clearly going to be a run, and that's what made me think maybe they're setting it up for later. And you do it later, you fake the handoff, Kelce, and then there he goes. But it's
I think your thought's right though. You know, they had enough of that. They saw running up the middle wasn't going to be easy against this crew the whole day. Get your guy on the edge, little creative motion, the way they do it, play action pass, and little boot to the right. And of course, now Bosa crashes down the line of scrimmage because he chases the run, chases Pacheco, and they come out on the other edge. And it's like, oh, wait, you're one guy short. Yeah, you could cover him, but now you got no guy for me. And that's where Mahomes is awesome. And of course, he just runs with it first down. And that's where I think the moment of that drive where you went, not only did they get the first down, he ripped off, a 15-yard run almost, and you went, uh-oh, here they go, right? And it just started to become surgical right after that.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.